Hello and welcome to the Quarantine Diaries once again. I'm here with our amazing senior, Elizabeth. So, Elizabeth, before I say too much about you, the ball is yours. Introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are.
All right. Hey, I'm Elizabeth. I'm a senior at Academic Magnet High School. I've been volunteering with St. Andrew's Youth Ministry for a while and also just going to it. I've got two brothers and I'm going to Clemson this fall, hopefully.
You answered one of those questions of Clemson versus South Carolina then
Yes.
by where you're just going to school. Other than the fact that you are a soon-to-be proud Clemson Tiger, can you tell us one interesting random fact about yourself?
Okay, it's not as much random because you just made me think of it, but I used to be a Carolina fan and was very hardcore about it all through 8th grade. Then I saw Clemson's campus and we begun to get swayed a little bit. But anyways, I've since had a full conversion.
So then does that mean that you flipped allegiances from your family allegiance? Like your family are still Gamecock, or did you flip to their allegiance?
My family is a little bit messed up because they don't actually have an allegiance. My
Okay.
dad would choose Carolina, but he'll still cheer for Clemson. And then my mom's the opposite. Um, and so when I had to choose one originally, my older brother Mason had decided that Clemson was like the team. So I was like, all right, Carolina.
Okay.
And that's how it started.
Okay. So does that mean that you've always wanted to go to Clemson, or were there other schools in the running?
Um, so in 8th grade, when I saw their campus, my mom and I like drove through it on the way to North Carolina. Um, and the instant we were on campus, I was like, whoa, like I love this place. Like this is where I'm going. But then I ended up still like touring other places and Ole Miss was number two.
Ah, Ole Miss. Why Ole Miss?
It's sort of see, it doesn't make sense because Clemson is like where I'm going and where I love, but Ole Miss is like the perfect school for me.
Don't tell Clemson.
But Clemson, I don't know, it's like my heart's connected, so I gotta go there. Um, the colors are perfect. It's like the perfect size school. I love the location, like Mississippi, like it's beautiful. Um, I don't know, everything, and then they have a great honors college and then their sorority life is like crazy good. But yeah.
Okay, but you're still going to Clemson anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that Clemson blood. All right, that's perfect. So now, because it's quarantine time, you're obviously isolating and hanging out at home, like all of us are. So you're there with all your siblings and your parents. If you had to quarantine with someone who isn't a blood relative, who would that person be and why? And it can be a celebrity. You could go with the safe answer and say your best friend, or you can dream big and shoot for the moon with a random person. They just have to be alive as the only stipulation.
Okay. I'm sorry, but I am gonna go with the safe answer because it's the true one. My best friend Emily. Yeah, she's more of a sister, and I'm touring with her next year. And her family feels a lot like my family, and it's really fun because she has 4 siblings. So there's always stuff going on, and it's always a party.
Okay, so if you were to quarantine with her, then outside of one of the two of yours, ooh, that's bad grammar. Outside of one of the two of yours dwelling places,
Mm,
where would you want to quarantine and why?
that's hard. Um, Probably. I'm trying to think. Probably somewhere with a dock. Okay, I'm gonna go with on a lake in Tennessee, but out in the middle of nowhere, so we could go for long drives with like the curvy mountain roads, but then also be able to go out on the boat or kayaking or whatever on the lake.
I like that. That's good. That's good. All right. Now, just for kicks, you've already said the safe answer. If you had to quarantine with any random celebrity, who would that celebrity be and why?
Mm, okay, Scotty McCreery. I went to one of his concerts and he seemed like a really nice, like fun guy to hang out with. So
Was he on American Idol, or am I thinking of somebody else?
yes, he was.
Okay. All right. That's the only reason why I know of him then is because of American Idol. I'm impressed that's who you chose. Okay. It's okay. Charlotte Francis chose, I don't remember their name, but some random Broadway star to hang out with. I would just want to hang out with the Rock. That's what I want to do. Because I feel like that'd be fun, and then maybe it would involve going to Hawaii potentially. So it's always a win. Okay, so quarantine. Who you would hang out with? Now let's go to the real, more personal idea of this all. In the season of quarantine, how are you keeping a Tuesday feeling like a Tuesday? Or another way to put it, just simply, what is your routine in the midst of quarantine?
Okay. Typically, I make myself get up pretty early, like 7:30, and then I wake up and eat breakfast and do Jesus time, like reading my Bible and praying. And then I'll do either like a backyard workout with like weights and push-ups and stuff, or I'll go run like part of the bridge. Um, and then I'll go babysit if it's a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday from 9:30 to 12:30. And then after that will be like homework. And then I'm trying to learn German now. So I'll do a little bit of that. And then with extra time,
Is this
go
German
for
for school or just because you're traveling to Europe, hopefully, and you want to use the German?
I don't not not for school.
Okay.
I've just sort of always wanted to learn it, and I figured if I don't do it now, then I won't do it.
Quarantine is the perfect time to learn a new language.
Uh-huh. It's definitely painfully slow, but we're trying. Yeah. Um, and then I've been painting some, trying to do like a bunch of little stuff to hang in the dorm next year. Um, yeah, I'm hanging out.
Okay, I feel like you have hit like the trifecta of A, you have a slight routine and schedule down, but then you're babysitting, you're working out, you're doing art, and you're learning a foreign language. Like if we were doing a quarantine bingo, I am pretty confident you would have already checked the boxes. The only thing you didn't mention is like learning a new instrument. Um, yeah, other than that, you've like hit all the major things you can do when you're stuck at home. That's impressive right there. What are you doing that looks a little less productive? Like, how are you? That still doesn't fill up all your days. So, what are you watching? What are you reading? How are you filling up your time that way?
So my new favorite thing is to paint while watching TV because
Okay.
I have this issue with TV where I freak out because I don't feel like I'm part of the world if I'm just watching TV. Like time passes without me realizing and it freaks me out. But if I paint while watching TV, it's great. So I'm almost done with Outer Banks. I don't I don't know. It's very dramatic, of course, but I do love it. And then I have been reading. Um, yeah, nothing spectacular. I've just been trying to broaden my
Okay.
reading a little bit.
Okay, that's good. So you mentioned Outer Banks. I feel like that is like definitely one of the popular quarantine choices right now. But it means I have to ask you the other question. This is not an endorsement of the show, but it's just everywhere in pop culture. Have you gotten so bored yet that you have tried to watch Tiger King?
I have not.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I don't like. I feel like every adult I know has watched Tiger King, and I just don't care. I just don't care about Tiger King, and Carol Baskins, and if she fed her husband to a tiger, and I just don't care. Um, yeah, so that's good. That's good. I would much rather watch Outer Banks than that. And Ellie and I have spent. We're halfway through season 5 of Friday Night Lights. We
Ooh.
started 2.5 weeks ago. So we have burned through a lot of Friday Night Lights because there is not a whole lot else to do. So, and then she was like, we should watch Outer Banks at some point too. And I'm like, you know what? We got plenty of time. I'm not opposed to this idea at all. So, um, after hearing everybody talk about it, that may be next. So you've mentioned you're reading a little bit, you're doing some art, you're passing time like that on quarantine, but maybe what so far in this season, despite the fact that it's hard and it's challenging or boring or may look the same from day to day, what is the part of quarantine so far that has been your favorite part of quarantine?
Um, I think I've definitely like, of course, been like forced to slow down, and so I, um, I don't know. I've spent more time like doing Jesus time. Like during Lent, my thing was Like I have to read 2 chapters a day just because I had gotten so bad. Like I had sort of cut it out of my schedule and hadn't fit it regularly back in. And I've kept that up and just been spending more time in prayer and like just trying to hear from / focus on God, which is important. And I had like very much stopped doing that previously. And I don't think I would have had quarantine not happen just because I was in such a like excitement for life. But that, and then also I've gotten really close with Andrew, my little brother, and Emily, my best friend, because they may or may not be our exception to quarantine. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. So I feel like this has been one of the common themes that I've heard from talking to people in general, but especially from talking to our busy students here in Mount Pleasant. So you mentioned the idea of slowing down and being able to add things into your schedule. How do you feel about this whole idea of slowing down, and how has that adjustment been from going from having your schedule filled to now having time where you can choose what you actually do?
I think definitely like it's split my emotions towards it because part of me absolutely despises that and I wish that I could just do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like keep going to the gym in the mornings, keep hanging out after school with people, like just keep doing like it feels like I'm doing everything when I'm doing everything when I'm just like nonstop doing stuff. And I love like always being in the car, always going to another place, always seeing more people. But I definitely like it's just a bit more freedom. Like today I went and ran at some like track in North Charleston and then I realized I was wrong about my class time. So I had another hour and I was like, oh, okay, like I can drive around and go do this little errand, then I can go on a walk with Andrew. Like, I don't know. It's just like I'm realizing I have more options and it's kind of nice to be able to like follow my heart a little bit, I guess. I feel like doing in the moment.
Yeah, well, that's good. So, I mean, with that, that's obviously the plus that comes from quarantine. What so far, other than the obvious, especially because you're a senior, what has been your least favorite part of quarantine? Or maybe something that is particularly challenging that you weren't expecting?
So I think like so with like the whole senioritis idea, there's like the main thing is like not caring about school anymore, which is fine. But then the other thing is like the itch to leave. And it was really nice, like right before quarantine, I like drove to Georgia and went and saw some friends and like went to a concert in club. Like I don't know, I was just like going everywhere and seeing all these people and like doing all this stuff. So like the itch to leave wasn't as bad. But now that I'm like stuck in Charleston for an unforeseeable future, it's like it's like considerably painful to not be able to like fulfill that desire at all.
So this is something that even Ellie and I have talked about with the desire to just get out. And we did pretty well for the first month or so, but now our own like getting itchy to go see a different area or what it might be. So you mentioned you went to a concert right before this. If you could go see any concert right now, obviously perfect world, no fear of spreading the disease to a loved one or amount of people, like what concert would you like travel for to go see right now?
I think Luke Bryant. I don't know. There's like a few people that are on my like I have to see before I die, and he's one of them. And I don't know. I think it'd be like a really chill, good time, but like a very fun time. And as a second time bringing up country music, I don't even do it that often.
That's about you. I was not aware you were a country fan, so
Yes.
good to know.
Definitely into other stuff as well, but it's just like my go-to.
Okay. So even traveling wise, if you could travel to one place right now without fear, without disease, without anything, where would you go? Doesn't have to be grand.
I think I would go to Washington State. Ellie actually was telling me that I'd really enjoy it up there, and I've just never seen it, or like the landscape or anything up there. I think that'd be cool to be able to like go see some wilderness.
Entire Pacific Northwest is gorgeous, so I recommend that one. Okay, and that's good. That's good. So even there's good, there's bad, there's parts that you're missing. Um, what is the first thing, realistically, in a handful of weeks, hopefully, when things start to open back up? What is the first thing that you're looking forward to being able to do?
um, I have like my little like friend group at school. And one of my friends has a boat, and last summer a few times we all went, or as many can fit on the boat, went out. And I'm very excited for our next boat ride or boat day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that just sounds fun. Getting on the water anywhere right now just sounds fun, as long as it's not a day like today. But any other day like today would be fantastic. And what's the first thing that you're actually looking forward to the most? So like once quarantine is lifted, not necessarily doing, but what are you looking forward to the most after quarantine?
I think sort of like getting back to how it was before. Like how I was saying, I was able to like go places, like travel a little bit, and then just sort of like run around town all the time seeing people. Like just being able to like go because it's really hard for me to sit here and wait for time to pass.
Yeah, not being stuck somewhere or feel like you have a leash attached to you,
Mhm.
where you can only go in the block around your house. Yeah, that'll be nice. All right, well, everybody, we're at the end of part one with Elizabeth. Don't worry, we will be back shortly with another part two of the Quarantine Diaries with Elizabeth. So, Elizabeth, say goodbye for now,
Bye.
and we will catch you all later.